Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias DRTSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and a warm welcome to Dr. Subramaniya-Ji. Let me present you Professor Dr. T. Subramaniya. This is a brief profile because he has come for the first time on my channel. So that is the reason why I'm making it mandatory that the guest is introduced. Today's topic is very fundamental and very important. November 26th, 1949. And again, I was supposed to do this show on November 26th, 2025. We have delayed it by 3 days because of various other issues. How important this day is. What is this day? He is going to explain to us, to every citizen of India. In a nutshell, Professor Dr. T. Subramaniya is currently serving as the Dean of CMR University School of Legal Studies with effect from 4/4/2018, Bengaluru. In CMR University, he remains committed to his lifelong pursuit of achieving the highest standards of legal education in India and has been responsible in the establishment of 9 research centers which have been engaged in constant research and allied activities. For any education which should be wisdom personified, you need research. And what a better personality than Dr. Subramania. On November 26 2, the Advocate General of India was their honorable guest. He is also responsible for the publication of CMR University Journal for Contemporary Legal Affairs, which in a very short span of time has been listed in the UGC Care List 1 for its high quality publications. I have been sharing as and when he was trying to send me the YouTube links. I think the legal fraternity and the general concerned citizens interested in legalities, I think they are very much aware. In addition, he is the editor-in-chief of the CMR University Journal for Dispute Settlement and Arbitration and CMR University Student Law Review. This is my penchant and my favorite. The dispute settlement and arbitration any citizen can do once you understand what today's topic, November 29, 1949 is all about. So he is summarizing and he's going to simplify it. Why the so-called November 1949, November 26, 1949 is so important for every citizen in India. Besides, he is a honorary member of the advisory board of the Symbiosis International University and a member of the boards of studies of their law school, apart from being a distinguished visiting professor in several national law schools and other institutions of eminence. Before holding this position, he served as the coordinator and research fellow at Center for Regulatory Studies, Governance and Public Policy, CRSGPP, in the West Bengal National University of Juridical Sciences, Kolkata. And he has been Vice Chancellor of Karnataka State Law University, Hubbali, in 2015 also. And then he has got various other academic interests attributed, like he was Vice Chancellor in charge for Bengaluru University, Dean and Chairman of the Faculty of Law of Bengaluru University, Registrar, Evaluation and Registrar in charge, Administration of Bengaluru University. And then he has got so many laurels. So I'm just trying to finish it off so that we can hear him more and more. Apart from the innumerable papers published in a variety of national and internationally renowned journals, Dr. Subramania initially published a book entitled The Rights and Status of the Individual in International Law, 1984, and edited another on Human Rights in International Law, 1986. So he is the protagonist of human rights. His most recent book on hazardous substances in India and the world legislations, frameworks and management is published by Routledge, United Kingdom, and was released in UK in May 2021 and in India in August of the same year. He also been a recipient of prestigious Advocate General S.G. Sundaraswamy Award administered by Capital Foundation Society, New Delhi, for his outstanding contribution to legal education, in July 2025. So he is also a life member of the Indian Society of International Law, New Delhi, life member of the Indian Law Institute, New Delhi, member of the Capital Foundation Society, New Delhi, and life member of the Karnataka section of the International Commission of Jurists. Wonderful, sir. I'm honored to welcome you to DRTSPR channels. And for the first time, and I hope many to come with such a distinguished background in legal education. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good evening to Mr. Redigar. Today I'll be just touching upon in the beginning why we celebrate the Constitution Day. Now, when we speak of the Constitution Day, it is an important day for all of us. We had great ancestors, our ancestors in this country, who not only fought for the freedom of this country, and thereafter we wanted to have a constitution of our own. And when we have a constitution of our own, after some time, at least once in a year, we just wanted to remember them.
Wonderful.
And we intend to remember so that our children and grandchildren and the progenies which come after us should be in a position to remember, tell the whole world that there were some people in this country who sacrificed the whole of their life in a cause that is, which is called as the freedom of this country, and ousting the British and establishing a constitution of its our own. Now, I just intend to give you why we celebrate the Constitution Day. It was in the year 1979. The Bar Council of India, especially the Supreme Court Bar Council, adopted a resolution. And having adopted a resolution in 79, they indicated that Law Day celebration should be celebrated in every college, in every public institution, in bar councils, and in bar association and other institutional bodies. And this constitutional day should be celebrated on November 26th of every year. So November 26th was identified as the Law Day celebration. So it is called as the Law Day celebration. So from 1979 to 2015, Law Day celebrations were held and were going on, and they were doing it to the quality of a high magnitude, inviting distinguished people, listening to the salient features of the Constitution, listening to the sacrifices made by our great people. But in 2015, the government of India, especially under the Ministry of Social Justice, issued a new circular. And this new circular pointed out that from now on, every year on 26th of November, we should celebrate, 26th of November, we should celebrate what we call the Constitution Day. So the Law Day celebration is replaced with the Constitution Day. And the Constitution Day has to be celebrated every year because that the chairman of the making of this Constitution and the Constituent Assembly happened to be Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And it was in 2015 he had completed 125 years of his life. To commemorate the memory of the great man, to commemorate the memory of the man who was a member of the Rajya Sabha and first law minister, Minister of Law and Justice of the Independent of India, we should have a Constitutional Day. And that is why we celebrate the Constitution Day every year on November 26th. That is the one part. Now, when we take up this matter, there are certain incidents and instances which are to be told. Because there were several people who sacrificed and contributed for the adoption of a constitution of our country. Now, when I speak of this, there are not one or two, there are 299 members. 299 members were part of what we call as the making of the Constitution, and who were part of the drafting committee of the Constitution. And in this drafting committee, there were as many as 18 committees. Of the 18 committees, 13 committees were prominent, and it is known to all of us. And Dr. Ambedkar was in almost all the committees overseeing and supervising it. Now, who are these people? Now, let us start from Mahatma Gandhi itself. Although he was not taking active part, his influence was there on day-to-day basis. Then take up Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Then the third man happened to be Sir Vallabhbhai Patel. Now, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is an important person for the simple reason. Remember, if you look to the map of India, when you look to, there was no ruler who was ruling the entire India in this country. And when the country became independent, there were as many as 554 dots. And these 554 red dots were actually representing the rulers of the local Maharajas. And when India wanted to become independent, it is this Iron Man who pleaded, who requested, and asked them to join the Union of India and to strengthen. Now you take the map of the Mauryas. The map of the Mauryas, the ruling map of the Mauryas was not complete of India. You take the golden age of the Guptas, Samudragupta or Vikramaditya, whoever it is. It was only a portion of the India, middle of India, which was there as part of India. Then you take, after the Guptas, you take the Kannauj Empire, Harshavardhan. There also it was not a complete India. Then you go to the Mughals. You know the map of the Mughals, you have seen. Now it may be from Badakhshan, from what we call the present Kandahar, to this south. Not the entire south, only up to the Bahmani kingdom, and which was the Bahmani kingdom also, they were not able to acquire completely. So this Iron Man requested and pleaded all of them to join the Union of India. And in turn, he assured them what we call as the privy purse, and they became part of the India. So British were ruling only 1/3 of India, and 2/3 of India were ruled by the local Maharajas. So that 2/3 of India, along with the 1/3 which was ruled by India, became India in toto and in total, and for which we wanted to have a constitution, and the contribution of Vallabhbhai Patel is great. A great scholar points out, instead of saying great scholar, I just tell you, Mr. Khrushchev, the Secretary General of the Communist Party of the state of Soviet Russia, visited India in 1952. So when he visited India in the year 1952, Pandit Nehru explained him the story of the freedom movement of the state of India. When he explained the story of the freedom movement of India, he just pointed out that this man, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, was responsible in uniting all the local Maharajas into the mainstream, and that became the state of India. Having heard this, he said, remember, here is a man who was responsible, remember, in liquidating the princely states without liquidating the princess. See, so nicely it is being put. And many people, that is why we have to read these stories, then only you get to know.
I know.
So without liquidating the, remember, princess, he has liquidated the princely states. Then another scholar who was pointing out about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, no, he was just like what we call as, remember, for a solar system, the sun to the solar system to India. So there cannot be a solar system without the sun. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is just like, remember, a sun to the solar system. And without it, without the solar system, nothing can function. That is where his contribution is honored, respected, applauded, admired by everyone. Many people were not knowing because of several reasons. Biographies did not come. Now, these days, in the last 5 or 10 years, biographies come, many things come to light. You get to know, you come to know. So in situations like this, all of us should know about this man. And there is another person along with is, remember, Alladi Krishna Swami Iyer. Alladi Krishna Swami Iyer happened to be a great legal mind. Now, when I speak of a great legal mind, he happened to be a student from the Christian College, Madras. He was born in 1883. And this man, remember, at the age of 40, he becomes what we call as the Advocate General of the Madras Presidency. And this man was for continuously from 1927 to 1944, he was the Advocate General of Madras Presidency. And remember, Ambedkar always used to speak high of me. Alladi Krishnaswamy, in every meeting, he always used to say, you should be there, come and sit, advise us properly so that everything will be smooth. That was the appreciation and kudos he received even from Dr. Ambedkar. Now, this man, remember, 17 years was the Advocate General and he was appointed, he was a member of the 9 committees. See, that is the greatness of this man drafting the Constitution. Then you have many others. I can see H.V.R. Iyengar, another member, Meenu Masani. Then you have Hundi Vishnu Kamath. Then Pilu Modi. How many of them you want? So all of them, remember, they have contributed for the adoption of a constitution of ours. Then I just intend to start with Dr. Ambedkar. Ambedkar happened to be the architect of the Indian Constitution. And he is the father of Constitution. Now, this man, Ambedkar, remember, happened to be a very learned man. Many people don't even know that he was such a great scholar. He was a human scientist. He was a sociologist. He was a politician. And he has 2 doctoral awards. Remember, one from the University of London and another from the University of Columbia, the state of United States. At that time, University of Columbia was one of the top universities, the first in maybe 1 or 2 or 3. It was listed like that. And he had taken Doctor of Laws from the University of Columbia. And he happened to be a Doctor of DSc, Doctor of Science from the University of London. See, as a scholar, as a sociologist, he had gone and taken admission in the year 1916 in the University of London. Having taken in the University of London, remember, he was at that time awarded a scholarship for 1 year by the Maharajas of Baroda. And when the scholarship got over within 1 year, he came back. And afterwards, everything stopped. And then again, he goes back. And the topic of his research happened to be the Indian rupee. So, what was the Indian rupee, its value, its content, and its deficiencies. So, on which topic he has discussed? Remember, there is sociology, there is politics.
Yes.
That is why he said he was a social thinker. And he happened to be a political scientist. And he was honored by everyone. So, the Doctor of Science, the DSc was taken from the University of London in the year 1923. And thereafterwards, remember, he goes to the University of Columbia again, and thereafter completes his Doctor of Laws degree. Thereafterwards, he has been given several honoris causa, including from the Osmania University in 1953. So that is just I wanted to tell you instead of elaborating further. Now, I just said his contribution is immense at every time. Now, there was another person by name Benagal Narsing Rao. See, it was on 9th December 1946. Mr. Sachidananda Sinha was elected as the provisional president of what we call as the committee, the drafting committee. So after the election of the selection, the meeting met and Sachidananda Sinha was elected as the provisional president on 9th December 1946. And in the same month, on 11th December 1946, Babu Rajendra Prasad became a permanent president. And when Babu Rajendra Prasad was elected as the permanent president of the Constituent Assembly, he was assisted by Mr. Mukherjee as the vice president. Mr. Mukherjee happened to be a great talented man and a great scholar and a great legal advisor and one of the very good draftsmen, remember, who was able to help Ambedkar in refining the process. That is how the team was able to work together everywhere. And such a nice constitution was given by Ambedkar to us. Now, when we speak further, along with B.N. Rao has to be mentioned. He was also a great prodigy. For those who have not heard about his life and times, I just intend to give a brief picture of it. Now, this person happened to be uh, a, had taken his birth in Mangalore. A very good family. His father happened to be a doctor. Now, he had two brothers as well. One happened to be Benagal Ramarao, who became the second Governor General of the Reserve Bank of India and held his office for a very long time. And most of the presidents in the Reserve Bank of India were established when he was the Governor General. He was also an ICS officer. Both the brothers were ICS. Now there is another brother, Mr. Shamrao. No, not Shamrao, is Ramarao, Shivarao. Shivarao, Benagal Shivarao happened to be a great, again, freedom fighter. And he played a glorious role, especially in the Ekikarana Samiti, in the establishment of linguistic states. And even for the establishment of the state of Karnataka, he had his role. Now, when we come to Benagal Ramarao, this person happened to be a student of the University of Madras. Having been a student of the University of Madras, he specialized in a few areas. And when he completed his degree, he stood first class first in 4 subjects. One happened to be Sanskrit. The second one happened to be English. The third one happened to be physics. And the fourth one happened to be mathematics. And when he got such a grade with the distinction first class first in these subjects, he was given the Government of India scholarship. He was born in 1886 and he goes to England and completes his graduation and becomes a member of the Gray's Inn. And from England only, he passed the ICS examination in the year 1905. Then he was posted to Bengal presidency. Now, when Eastern province, then he was appointed as a district judge. From there, he goes to the Eastern province. There he becomes the legal advisor to the Legislative Council in the Eastern province. Thereafterwards, remember, he becomes an advisor to the entire Eastern province government for 8 years. From there, he was shifted to Delhi. When he was a member of the Eastern legal advisor to the Eastern province, to the entire government, for one instance, I just intend to cite to you. What has happened was he was asked to prepare a memorandum. And this memorandum was to go to the parliament delegation in the state of United Kingdom. The British government had levied some tax on tea in Assam. So the very purpose of drafting this memorandum is a portion of the money which is collected by way of tax has to be returned for the development of the state of Assam. So this memorandum, when it was submitted, the way that it is being written, it was appreciated by everybody. And then he himself was asked to go by the British government in India to go to the state of England and to submit a paper before the cabinet committee. And he came, after submitting, he came back. And when he came back, remember, first assignment which was given to you, the Governor General of India appointed him as a one-man commission relating to the water dispute, Indus water dispute. Water disputes between states were there at that time. The local Maharajas of Bikaner as well as Bawalpur were fighting to get a share in the Indus water. To give a decent burial, he was appointed as a one-man commission. Having heard, he gave such a beautiful judgment. And scholars point out, even today, after almost 70, 80 years, this is an authority. And it was such a classic judgment. And even Katarki, one of the learned advocate for the state of Chhattisgarh, for the state of Karnataka, for the sharing of water rivers for the state of Orissa, he points out it's one of the beautiful judgments. And we also cite before the court of law and even before the tribunals. Such was the case. Then he was appointed by the Governor General of India as the Prime Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. And when he was appointed as the Prime Minister of India in Jammu and Kashmir, because he was not able to get on with the local Maharaja Hari Singh, and he immediately resigns and came back, and there you appointed as a legal advisor in the office of the Governor General of India. That is there. Remember, the entire Government of India Act was drafted by him. He took 18 months. Since he worked in the preparation of the Government of India Act, remember, he was appointed as a constitutional advisor. Because this is done at the request of Dr. Ambedkar, because we need talented people to have a constitution not for a family, but for the whole nation. So they were going together, drafting together. And that is how, remember, with all these people, the constitution came into force, you might be knowing, on January 26th. Now, what exactly are the things which we should know under the constitution? When we read the constitution, we just go to the preamble. Now, it is just like preamble is a license to know what are the principles. Now, first and foremost, we the people. So, we the people, that simply means we the people of India have given a constitution to ourselves. So, we the people of India have given a constitution to ourselves. That is one. Thereafterwards, you have four essential pillars. Now, one important principle happened to be democratic form of government. The second principle happened to be what we call socialistic form of government. The third one happened to be secular society. Now, these are all pillars of the Constitution. The most important pillar happened to be social justice. See, when we speak about Article 14 of the Constitution, we speak of equality. Equality is the foundation to a democratic constitution. Since it is the foundation to a democratic constitution, remember, everyone says our constitution is a democratic. So in a republic, always equality must be the fundamental prime principle of law that is respected under the Constitution of India. Now the second one is what we say is the other one, social justice. Social justice naturally represents what we call as, remember, equal opportunities. So equal opportunity is a basic foundation of the Constitution of India because it represents social justice. Then afterwards, you know the articles, remember, just one article 14 onwards, you go up to 35. It is chapter 3 of the Constitution, wherein you have fundamental rights, right to movement, right to freedom of thought and expression, right to property, which was there, even now it is there. Then free from arbitrary arrest, right to have nationality. All of them, all these, you know this, but freedom of the press, all of them are being spoken under these articles. Although these are being spoken under the article, we have another chapter which is called as chapter 4. Chapter 4 of the chapter points out the what we call a DSP, Directive Principle State Policy. Now, Directive Principle State Policy is complementary to Part 3. It is complementary to Part 3 for the simple reason because Directive Principle State Policy cannot be enforced legally by a court of law. But what is being indicated there are actually Rajadharma. The ruler of a state, the administrators of a state are naturally supposed to follow Rajadharma everywhere. You may say, what is this Rajadharma? For example, under Article 39, you have a process wherein everyone is entitled to legal aid. You have equal pay for equal work. You have maternity benefit. We have nutritious, everyone is entitled to get nutritious food. And you have the other legislations, other articles which are being spoken. Now, when all these things are spoken, what has happened is the Constitution is actually a living document.
We have last
And
10 minutes. We have last 10
Yeah.
minutes. We have last
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, only it will be get over by that time. Now, all these are spoken, remember, for the welfare of our people. And this welfare must be taken very seriously. Now, the second question is, as I first told you, we have given the Constitution to ourselves. When we have given the Constitution to ourselves, there are two questions. Now, will of the Parliament as well as the will of the people of India. Whether will of the people naturally represent the will of the Parliament. So this was a fundamental question which was put by Nani Palkiwala in one of his writings, whether the Parliament of India represents the will of the people. If it represents the will of the people, in 1975, emergency was replaced. And at that time, certain parties went to the extent of pointing out that it is nothing but the will of the people. If the emergency had the will of the people, in 1978, when the elections were held, the government was thrown out. Subsequent to that, remember, 44th Amendment came in. And in the 44th Amendment, a few of the draconian laws which are adopted were repealed. So will of the people is totally different from will of the. So when I speak about the will of the Constitution, one has to remember Parliament is a creature of the Constitution. And the members who are functioning as members of the Parliament are supposed to work within the frame of the Constitution. And if they overstep, naturally the judiciary is there. Then you think of the organs. When you think of the organs, remember the committee, the Constitutional Committee, when it was appointed, drafting committee, when it was appointed, a few of the committee members were asked to go abroad. And the delegation was led by B.N. Rao, Mr. Padmanabhan, and Mr. A. Subramanian, and Mr. Another Abida. There were many others, one or two. And they go to the state of United States first. From the state of United States, they go to the state of Canada. They came back to the state of United Kingdom. Then they go to the state of Ireland. So they wanted to study the Constitution threadbare. So when they went there, they consulted the best of the brains, maybe judges, maybe law houses, eminent lawyers, eminent attorney generals, and the person who had eminence in the area of academics, in the area of law. Having consulted and got and gathered the opinion from all these four countries, they came back to India. Now, what has happened was, you may be interested to know, once they had gone to United States, this committee, and with great difficulty, they took an appointment with the Frankfurter, Justice Frankfurter, who happened to be Chief Justice of the United States. And Chief Justice Frankfurter was able to give one full session. And remember, during the course of the discussion, he was taken aback to know the knowledge of the Indians about American Constitution. And Mr. Girija Shankar Vajpayee, who later had met Justice Frankfurter, Chief Justice of the United States. At that time, he just made a statement. I had met your one of the advisors for the drafting committee of the Constitution, and I was astonished to see his knowledge. So at that time, if you were requested by the President of the State of the United States to appoint a judge to the Supreme Court of the United States, I would recommend that man. That was the knowledge. That is why from there he becomes a member of the International Law Commission, B.N. Rao. He becomes a judge of the ICJ. He represented the Security Council in those days where we had tough times with India and Pakistan. And he passed away when he was still in office as judge of the International Court of Justice. So, see, the very purpose is to remember their contributions, how they got over, how resolutions were strong, indicated, resolved. Then we come to the other important aspect regarding the Constitution itself. Our Constitution, you should know, it is a written Constitution. It is not printed. It is not printed, nor it is handwritten Constitution, which everyone knows. Most of them think that it is typed and it is cyclostyled and it is printed. No, there is no such thing as cyclostyled print. It is handwritten Constitution, both in Hindi and English. And thereafterwards, when you see the Constitution of this country, very important, the calligraphic use has been made. There were several paintings, and the chart of these paintings you find, remember, beneath the words which appear on the top. Now you may ask me, which are these calligraphic paintings? They are from the Vedas. They are from what we call as our ancient age, starting from the civilization of Mohenjo-daro to the stage of the Mauryas, to the age of Guptas, to the age of Mughals, to the freedom fighters, and how we got India. So there are as many as 23 paintings which are being given in the 22 chapters of the Constitution and 12 other things which are found in the Constitution. Now, these are rich. That is why when somebody speaks about it, you have what we call as the principle of Rajadharma enunciated in the Constitution, the principles of faith. Under no circumstances we can violate the law of Dharma. That is part of the Constitution of India. Now, you just look to when they went to England, they studied the Constitution of UK nicely. And thereafter, when they came to this country, they said, we don't want to have an executive like the state of England. Because the executive of the state of England, the crown, remember, functions only on protocols and certain conventions. If these protocols and conventions are violated, nothing is going to happen. But then we decided to have an elected office for a president. The president, as the chief executive, holds an elected office, and every 5 years there will be election. And the entire executive body is from the president to the governor. Remember, to the state governor, to the state administrator, to chief secretary, then up to the deputy commissioner, assistant, all of them, they come and work in one net in enforcing the provisions of law. Thereafter, remember, Parliament is the authority to make the law. And when Parliament makes the law, Parliament is not empowered to delegate this power to any other body. No, the power of the Parliament is supreme. When the power of the Parliament is supreme to make the law, in legislating it, nobody can question this, and nobody can trespass on it, and nobody has the power to doubt it. So it is the power, and the Parliament itself cannot delegate this to any other body other than what is indicated under the Constitution of India to the states or other bodies, federal members to other bodies. Now, the point at issue is, see, we have given a constitution to ourselves. And when we have given a constitution to ourselves,
Last 1.5 minutes, sir. Last 1.5 minutes.
We have created an independent judiciary, and the independent judiciary is empowered to question any law that is being made by the Parliament.
Wonderful.
And this cannot be stopped by anybody. The judicial independence, remember, is a power which is very much essential, which is visualized by our people, our ancestors, while making the Constitution, and they recognized it, wherein any law which is made by the Parliament is subject to the scrutiny of judiciary. These are a few of those things. Now, we have given a Constitution, and today is the day, and every year is the day wherein we should empower the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think questions and all, I will have it in the second part. But don't forget, an important message coming out of this show: judiciary is empowered for the scrutiny of any law which emanates from the Parliament. So that is the beauty of our Constitution. Let us salute all those heroes who have given us this wonderful Constitution. Thank you very much, sir. Do support DRTSPR channels. It is in larger public interest. That means the Constitution of India itself. That is why we have given Constitution to ourselves. We are the Constitution. Don't forget, don't fear, and don't underestimate yourselves. You are the Constitution and you are supreme. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Jai Telangana, Jai Hind, and also Jai Karnataka from where you are joining today. Thank you very much.